Have you noticed your dark hair doesn't feel quite right anymore? Maybe that deep shade that once made you feel polished and confident now feels a little too heavy, or the upkeep just feels endless. You're not imagining it, and you're definitely not the only one. For years, dark hair represented sophistication, control, poise, power. But as time passes, what once enhanced your features can start to weigh them down. The contrast becomes sharper, the maintenance harder, and the mirror starts reflecting something that doesn't quite match how you feel inside anymore. That's exactly where Joan, 63, from New Jersey, found herself. For over 2 decades, she colored her rich chocolate brown hair every 3 weeks, never missing an appointment. It became part of her rhythm, part of how she showed up in the world. The moment a hint of silver appeared, she'd rush to cover it, afraid someone might see it as a sign she was getting older. But something started to shift. The constant touch-ups began to feel like a chore, not a confidence boost. The deep tone she once loved suddenly looked flat against her skin, and no matter how fresh the color, her roots seemed to peek through faster than ever. One quiet morning, she stood in front of her bathroom mirror, hairbrush in hand, and whispered to herself, "This doesn't feel like me anymore." It wasn't sadness, it was clarity. Joan realized she didn't want to chase youth anymore. She wanted to honor the woman she'd become, strong, stylish, and at peace with her reflection. But like so many women, she didn't know where to start. Should she stop coloring cold turkey? Should she try blending? Would going lighter make her look washed out? These are the exact questions many women ask, quietly, often alone. Because the truth is, transitioning out of dark hair isn't just about color. It's about identity. It's about letting go of old definitions of beauty and discovering something softer, freer, and truer to who you are now. If you've ever looked in the mirror and felt that same tug, that quiet question of is it time for something new? This video is for you. Together, we'll explore smart, modern ways to transition out of dark hair without losing your sense of elegance or confidence. You'll learn how to lighten gradually, blend gracefully, and refresh your look so it reflects your current season, not the one you've outgrown. And don't worry, you don't have to go grey overnight. You don't have to give up feeling polished or beautiful. There's a thoughtful, graceful way to do this, one that makes you look radiant, not older. Because this isn't about giving up control, it's about taking it back. So stay with me through this video, and by the end, you'll see how small, intentional changes can help you step into a version of yourself that feels authentic, elegant, and effortlessly confident again. Before we begin, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments where you're watching from. It's amazing how many of us are walking through the same transition, from New Jersey to London, from Sydney to Toronto, all redefining beauty on our own terms. And if this topic speaks to you, if you're ready to embrace a look that truly matches the woman you've become, make sure to subscribe and join our Eversmart Senior Women community. Together, we're creating a space where aging is not something to hide, it's something to celebrate. Now, let's dive into the subject properly. Tip 1. Start with a grey blending consultation. Joan's turning point wasn't another box of dye, it was a conversation. After years of chasing the same dark shade, she realized what she truly needed wasn't more color, it was guidance. So, she booked an appointment with a stylist who specialized in grey blending, not full coverage. From the moment she sat in that chair, everything changed. Instead of hearing, "Let's cover that up," the stylist said, "Let's work with what you have." That one shift, from hiding to harmonizing, gave Joan a new kind of confidence. Together, they designed a gradual transition plan tailored to her lifestyle, her natural hair growth, and her skin tone. The idea wasn't to erase the dark entirely, but to soften it, allowing the silvers to blend in seamlessly and look intentional. The beauty of grey blending is that it gives you control over the pace. You can start subtly, introducing lighter tones and soft highlights that merge with your natural grey. Over time, your hair begins to tell your story, not hide it. It's less maintenance, more freedom, and far more flattering than an abrupt change or harsh dye line. Joan described it as the first time in years she felt like herself, not a version she was trying to maintain. She left the salon lighter, not just in color but in spirit. No more panic when roots appeared, no more rushing to touch up every few weeks. Just balance. And that balance showed in her posture, her smile, even the way she carried herself. If you've been coloring for decades, think of this as your permission slip to pause and talk to a stylist who truly understands the art of blending, not just covering. Ask them about your options. Ask what shades would make your natural tones shine. You don't need a drastic change, just the right plan and the right professional by your side. So, what about you? Have you ever thought about talking to a stylist about blending instead of covering? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear where you are in your transition journey. Every story helps another woman feel less alone. Tip 2. Transition gradually with softer shades. If you've worn dark hair for decades, going straight from deep color to full gray can feel too sudden, almost like jumping from one identity to another overnight. That's why the secret to a beautiful, confident transition is to move gradually, with softer tones that complement your natural shade and your skin's undertone. When Joan began her transition, she didn't strip away all her color at once. Instead, her stylist guided her through a soft, thoughtful shift. They started by lifting her dark brunette to a warmer chestnut, just enough to lighten the contrast without losing depth. Over time, they introduced fine silver highlights around her temples and crown. The result wasn't a dramatic change, it was gentle and natural. It looked intentional, like her color had evolved with her, not against her. This approach works because our complexions change subtly with time. What once flattered you in your 40s may feel harsh in your 60s. Lighter, blended tones soften facial features, add warmth, and create harmony between your hair, skin, and eyes. It's not just a color adjustment, it's a confidence adjustment. And the best part? Transitioning gradually allows you to test how you feel at each stage. You can pause, adjust, and find your comfort zone without ever feeling like you've given up. Every small shift builds toward a final look that feels true to you, and one that gets you compliments for looking refreshed, not changed. Joan often says that once she embraced the gradual route, she stopped dreading salon visits and started enjoying them again. It wasn't about covering something up, it was about discovering what suited her best at this season of life. So, what about you? Have you ever thought of slowly lightening your color instead of making a drastic switch? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear how you feel about easing into your natural tones. Tip 3. Refresh your makeup and wardrobe palette. When your hair begins to soften in tone, everything around it, your makeup, your clothing, even your accessories, starts to interact differently. What used to flatter you when your hair was deep and dark can suddenly feel too bold or heavy. That's exactly what Joan realized midway through her transition. Her favorite crimson lipstick, her black blouses, and even her dramatic eye makeup began to feel out of sync with her new, lighter hair. The contrast that once looked elegant now seemed to overpower her softer tones. Instead of feeling discouraged, Joan took it as an opportunity to rediscover her style. She swapped her deep red lipstick for rose and berry hues, colors that added warmth without dominating her features. She found that soft beige, camel, and gentle earth tones made her complexion glow in a way her darker wardrobe never had. With just a few simple adjustments, her entire look became fresher, lighter, and more radiant. This happens because your hair color frames your face, it sets the tone for how other colors interact with your skin. When your hair lightens, deeper shades can start to feel harsh, while softer hues create harmony. It's not about avoiding color, it's about choosing tones that echo your natural brightness. Think of it as fine-tuning your palette to highlight your new elegance rather than hiding behind strong contrasts. For many women, this stage of transition becomes a refreshing reset, a moment to experiment, to simplify, and to see themselves through a kinder lens. Joan often says that once she matched her makeup and wardrobe to her new hair, she began to feel more confident in photos, more comfortable in her clothes, and more authentically herself. How about you? Have you noticed your go-to shades feel a bit different lately? Tell me in the comments, have you adjusted your colors or are you thinking about trying something softer? I'd love to hear how your style is evolving. Tip 4. Focus on shine and hair health. When your hair begins to lighten, either naturally or through blending, it's not just the color that changes, the texture often does too. Gray or lightened strands can become drier, coarser, and more prone to dullness because they lose pigment and natural oils over time. That's why shine isn't just a finishing touch, it's your new signature. Healthy, luminous hair instantly lifts your whole appearance, no matter the shade. Joan learned this during her transition. After years of coloring, her hair felt brittle and flat. Once she began lightening, she noticed her strands lacked the gloss she used to take for granted. Instead of turning back to dye, she focused on nourishment. She started using a gentle purple shampoo once a week to prevent brassiness, along with a hydrating mask rich in natural oils. Slowly, her hair regained softness and movement. Within a few months, her silver strands caught the light beautifully, not dull or yellowed, but fresh and glowing. What made the biggest difference wasn't a salon product, it was consistency. Healthy hair thrives on routine. Using sulfate-free shampoo, adding a light serum for shine, and trimming regularly to prevent split ends all help your hair reflect light better. It's not about perfection, it's about care. When your hair is hydrated and well maintained, it naturally looks more youthful and elegant, no matter the color. Joan often says this stage made her realize something powerful, that beauty isn't about covering up age, but caring for what time has given you. Her confidence didn't come from color, it came from radiance. That's what shine really is, a reflection of health and self-respect. How about you? Have you noticed changes in your hair texture or shine as you've grown older? Share your experience in the comments. I'd love to know what products or routines have helped you keep your hair looking healthy and vibrant. Now, looking back, Joan says her decision to let go of the dark dye wasn't about giving up, it was about becoming. She discovered that grace doesn't come from perfection, it comes from alignment, when your look finally reflects the woman you've grown into. Every highlight, every silver strand, every softened tone became part of her story, not something to hide. And maybe that's what this journey is really about, not chasing youth, but choosing peace. When you stop fighting against change, you make space for confidence, authenticity, and beauty to shine through. Because the truth is, transitioning out of dark hair isn't about losing color, it's about finding light. So, wherever you are in your own journey, whether you're still deciding, already transitioning, or simply curious, remember this: your beauty hasn't faded. It's evolving. You've earned every bit of wisdom, strength, and grace you carry. And your reflection deserves to celebrate that, not conceal it. If Joan's story resonated with you, I'd love to hear yours. Tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? It's always inspiring to see how women from around the world are embracing their change with courage and confidence. If you found this video encouraging, please give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend who might need it, and don't forget to subscribe to the Eversmart Senior Women community for more empowering, smart, and beautiful conversations like this. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay confident, stay kind to yourself, and keep shining. God bless you.